Okay, picture this. You and I are sitting across from each other right now, maybe grabbing a coffee and having a very real, serious one-on-one coaching session. You've just told me you're about to accept a massive promotion to management. And I get it. You're pumped about the new title, the team, and yeah, let's be totally honest, that bigger paycheck. It feels like the ultimate natural reward for all your years of just crushing it at your job. But before you blindly sign that offer letter and move into the new office, I'm going to ask you to do something incredibly difficult. I need you to pause. In this explainer, we really need to dig into what's known as the manager's paradox.
So I want to halt your momentum completely right here to ask you a fundamental and honestly kind of uncomfortable question. Do you actually want to manage people? Most professionals just gloss right over this. They look at the org chart and figure, well, the only way to earn more, do more, and matter more is to have a team reporting to me. But saying yes to this question without truly meaning it, that is a massive, massive trap. And here is exactly why it's a trap. Advancing your career and managing people are two completely different things. Confusing the two is probably one of the most common and frankly most damaging career mistakes professionals make today. You might desperately want to advance your career, absolutely, but that does not automatically mean you want to manage people.
So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. Management is not a promotion. It is a career change. For generations, the corporate playbook was so simple, right? Excel as an individual, get promoted to manager, climb the ladder, land in the C-suite. Whether you were coding software or running audits or managing client accounts, the path was exactly the same. But that antiquated system is completely broken. It falsely assumes that the skills that made you an outstanding individual contributor, your deep technical expertise, your ability to hyper-focus on complex problems, the sheer joy of building something with your own hands, it assumes those are the exact same skills that make a good manager. And the truth? Actually, scratch that. They aren't even relevant anymore.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little tough love here based on some very real data. 4 out of 10. Out of hundreds of absolute star performers who get promoted into management roles, roughly 4 out of 10 find themselves completely, utterly miserable within 6 months. Nearly half. These were the top performers, literally the best of the best, suddenly waking up and dreading their Monday mornings. So why does this happen so frequently? Well, those star performers fail because they are completely unprepared for a massive shift in how they're evaluated. As a manager, your achievements are now exactly equal to the sum of your team's achievements. You are no longer graded on your own direct output. By definition, your performance is suddenly entirely in the hands of other people. And for someone who's so used to controlling their own success through just sheer personal effort and talent, that loss of control can be incredibly jarring.
Just think about your current reality right now as an individual contributor. You get deep focused on complex problems, you solve the technical issues, and you build with your own hands. Now contrast that with a manager's reality. The whole definition of work totally changes. You're now spending your days in literally endless meetings. You're navigating messy organizational politics instead of just executing straightforward tasks. You're mediating conflicts between two team members who are both kind of right. And you're delivering really tough feedback that might genuinely hurt someone's feelings just because they need to hear it. Your old skills simply won't save you here. Which brings us to a really harsh warning. If those managerial activities don't energize you, management will drain you, completely regardless of how big that paycheck is. Here's the part nobody tells you up front. If you don't actually enjoy the day-to-day work of management, you won't be good at it. A manager who resents their actual daily duties ends up creating a toxic environment. And not out of malice, but just out of pure disengagement. Your team is going to feel your frustration, your boss will definitely notice it, and the brutal irony here is that the promotion you took to advance your career becomes the exact thing that stalls it. Okay, let's take a collective deep breath. Let's shift gears for a second, because I do have some really good news. If everything I just described terrified you, don't worry, you are not trapped. We are playing by the new rules of the game now. The entire landscape of work has fundamentally changed, and I really want to expand your playbook here. That rigid, antiquated hierarchy, it is no longer the only way to earn more money, command respect, and have a huge impact. Just take a look at top-tier companies like OpenAI, Google, or Goldman Sachs. At organizations like these, individual contributors routinely out-earn their managers by significant margins. We're talking about the architects of innovation. These are deep specialists whose expertise commands premium compensation, and they don't have a single direct report. The most valuable professionals in the world today aren't necessarily managing anyone at all. And this brings us to a super vital concept: leverage without leadership.
Basically, this means scaling your impact through your sheer expertise rather than through your headcount. The whole freelance economy has massively amplified this shift. You've got elite consultants, developers, designers, and strategists building these exceptional practices as totally solo operators. They have absolutely proven that you no longer need a team reporting to you to build a highly lucrative, super influential career. And hey, even within traditional corporate environments, your options have expanded dramatically. You now have alternate paths: principal engineer, distinguished architect, expert consultant. Companies are proactively creating these high-status positions because they finally realize they have to retain their highest impact people. These tracks rival management paths in both compensation and organizational influence. The landscape is heavily shifting in favor of people who choose their path deliberately, rather than just blindly following corporate convention out of sheer inertia. Now, as your coach, I have to give you the honest caveat here. It is still slightly harder. Forging a senior-level career without taking on management responsibilities does require exceptional expertise and dedication. Why? Well, because most organizations still default to that old, traditional hierarchical model where knowledge transfers from the top down. They want your brilliant expertise to cascade across the company, which traditionally means putting you in charge of people. So yes, to reach the absolute top without managing, you have to be completely unignorable. But let's weigh that reality for a second. Slightly harder is very different from impossible. I want to reassure you right now that the temporary discomfort of carving out an unconventional individual contributor path, it is absolutely nothing compared to the slow misery of spending years in a role that just doesn't suit you. You do not want to watch your passion erode and your hard-earned skills completely atrophy just because you took the wrong promotion. So, we're back to the big decision. Before you accept that offer, I want you to lean in and really sit with a few vital gut check questions. Be honest with yourself here. First, do you get energy from developing others, or does it feel like an obligation? Really think about it. When you have to completely stop your own flow, stop your own work to explain a concept to a junior colleague, does that spark joy, or does it completely annoy you? Okay, next question. Would you rather solve problems directly or enable others to solve them? This one really forces you to confront who you are at your absolute core. Do you want to be the one with your hands on the keyboard, building the architecture, or do you want to be the one facilitating the environment so that someone else can build it? Let's keep going. Are you pursuing management because you genuinely want to lead people, or just because you think you should? I really want you to challenge your underlying motivations right now. Are you acting out of genuine passion for leadership, or are you just succumbing to the pressure of that traditional corporate playbook that tells you this is the only way to prove you're successful?
And finally, the heaviest question of all. Listen to this one very closely. Can you find fulfillment in others' success when your own visible achievements disappear? These aren't hypothetical scenarios, folks. This describes the true daily reality of being a manager. When your team wins, they get the credit. When they fail, you take the blame. Your personal, visible achievements simply vanish. Can you find deep fulfillment in that dynamic?
So, what's the bottom line here? Let's summarize our little coaching session. If you answered honestly and management still strongly appeals to you, if it genuinely energizes you, then absolutely pursue it wholeheartedly. The world desperately needs genuine leaders who choose this path for all the right reasons. But if something in your gut resisted during those questions, please do not accept what is effectively a demotion of your happiness and your impact. The modern professional landscape offers way more paths to success than ever before. Choose the path based strictly on what energizes you, not what tradition dictates. I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Have you wrestled with this decision yourself? And what will you ultimately choose? Think about your own career crossroads right now. Remember, your success absolutely doesn't require managing anyone but yourself. Take a moment to really reflect on your path, and I highly encourage you to share your experience and what you're choosing in the comments below. Thank you so much for grabbing this coffee with me and joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.